So welcome to the first MicroStartup Inner Circle session. Can everybody hear my audio and see my video clearly? Just type clear.
Yeah, very clear.
Okay. So hey Ujjwal, why don't we start with you? Introduce yourself.
Hello Deepak sir. Thank you so much for me getting into this community and myself Ujjwal. Hello everyone. And I am 20-year old. Right now I'm in BTech. I'm pursuing BTech and I'm currently working with one of my friend on a digital marketing project.
Okay.
We have started a YouTube channel where we are educating people about the job industry in digital marketing.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Right now I'm in Ghaziabad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Deepak.
Hi Deepak.
Hi.
Myself Divash. I'm from Kolkata, and I'm basically as an online course creator. And right now I'm launching my coaching program. So basically, I'm a business coach. So I planning to my target customers, aspiring coaches and consultants and agencies whom I'll teach how to launch an online coaching business or
Okay.
course creation business.
Okay. And where are you from?
I'm from Kolkata.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. So Surabhi, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, hi Didi. So I'm Surabhi here and I'm a cognitive coach and for children, for teens, for youth and also for adults.
Okay.
And so cognitive training is very, this is a training program which is in initial phases in India, but well known across the globe. I get more response from other countries than from India. So
Okay.
that's why I'm here to learn how to scale it up.
Awesome. Cool. Tyagi.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Basically, sir, I am a digital marketer. Like I have 2 years of experience as a performance marketing executive.
Okay.
Like right now, I'm working at Haku Hodo, and like I used to try multiple things. Like previously, also I've tried. I worked with on freelancing projects with multiple clients, and I used to see your content from since a longer time. Like last podcast, I have seen your with Deepan Sidhu about demand generation.
Nice. That was a very in-depth, very technical podcast.
Yeah, correct.
I will bring more such people into podcast going forward.
Okay. Right now, I'm also working on Maruti Suzuki project.
Okay.
Like they're hyperlocal showrooms. Right now, I have 150 showrooms for there, which I'm working on performance marketing campaigns.
Okay. Awesome.
And sir, try to bring more such podcast content on YouTube.
Yes. In fact, since you mentioned, I will ask Deepan Sidhu to join one of these inner circle calls where we can do Q&A with him and interaction with.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And which city are you from?
I'm from Udaipur, Rajasthan.
Okay. Awesome. Saumik?
Hey everyone. So my name is Shomik Mitra. I'm also a part of the micro internship program. Glad to be here. I recently quit my job as a journalist after working for 7 years. One of the main reasons is to build my own, maybe in the future, build my own agency, niche down on a particular uh, point in digital marketing and start off my own agency. I also want to start my own satire news website.
Okay.
So something unique I want to do in the field of journalism, Indian journalism itself. It's pretty one-sided at the moment. So no one. I've been following you for quite a few years now. I've been following you from pre-pandemic times. So I thought this was the right time to start the micro internship as well as learn how to build a company from you.
Yes. Awesome. Swaraj?
Hi, good evening, Deepak and team. So I'm from your batch 4, Deepak.
Okay.
I'm regularly, observing all the content which you are sharing, very rich content. And when you talked about in Google Ads webinar that you are going to start, so that time I decided, okay, I have to work with you, along with you. Probably I'll love to start if possible, this micro startup thing. So I'm very excited and happy that
Awesome.
you decided to start this venture. I'm from Pune.
Okay.
And I'm meditation trainer, as well as I help children, a small brain training program which I'm conducting here.
Nice, nice.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Yes. Anyone else wants to introduce themselves?
Hey Deepak.
Hello, Deepak.
Hey, my name is Deepak, and and I have been like working in IT industry for last 25 years. So I'm pretty old that way. And recently I've started. One thing is 25 years is too much to get bored of the job. So I'm actually looking for some side hustle kind of thing. So, but yeah, I can afford to quit my job as I'm getting some handsome salary there. And I like my job as well. Because the kind of work I'm doing, I enjoy doing that. But yeah, in the meantime, I also looking for some extra side hustle kind of thing. And I have been following you for quite some time, and I'm learning a lot of digital marketing tricks. I am good at technically. I'm very good because I can set up domain and all these things like domain, email, DMARC, SPF, and all these. Like I have been learning a lot. I've been setting my domains, and I have creating landing pages and all these things. But yeah, there's no direction. Technically, I'm beaten piece here and there, but and I'm actually a lot of interest in this micro SaaS because I myself is a software development and I want to go creating some startup which related to like software, software services and all. So, but I really don't know right now what direction I will go. But yeah, definitely I have some benefit there because I have some experience working on software and technically I'm pretty good. So yeah, so only thing is I need some mentoring and guidance and direction. Yeah, so that is what I've been looking for in this program. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's all from my side. And I'm staying in Bangalore. I'm originally from Delhi, and I'm originally from Orissa, born and brought up in Delhi, and I'm right now the last 10 years or so I'm in Bangalore.
Okay.
And I'm following this.
Part of Bangalore?
I'm in Whitefield.
Okay.
Near to ITPL Road, ITPL.
Hmm.
And I'm following your partner, Padi also is also from Orissa. I am also originally from Orissa. So yeah. So I mean yeah. So I'm following a lot of your content and but yeah, like told, I need mentor and I need direction.
Great.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Akshata?
Yeah. Hi, Deepak. This is Akshata Basavaraj, and basically from Hubballi, North Karnataka, but stays in Bangalore. So currently we are in native, that is Hubli for voting. So yeah, I'm an artist and like I'm specialized in concept-based paintings. And uh, if I come to my qualification, that is, I post-graduated in MSc Electronics from Karnataka University. And for 2 years, I have worked as a lecturer before, and then I get into network marketing after my marriage. And after that, I realized that since childhood, I was very passionate about my art and music. So after that, after a discussion with my husband, he supported me and is supporting till now. So I'm pursuing my art career. So yeah, that is, I want to build a micro startup in that industry.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
Cool. Ritesh?
Thank you.
Yes. So Ritesh has already been an Alpha Club member, so glad to see you here again.
Thanks, Deepak. It's always a pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
So hi everyone. My name is Ritesh Osta.
Ah.
So I'm a computer science engineer by degree, and I completed my engineering back in 2006. So I've been into industry for last 17, 18 years now. So I started my career working as an IT engineer. I used to write codes for SAP ERP. back in those days, I used to write codes on Web.Pro, which was a application to write web application for SAP. So that's how I started my career. Started working for IT companies in Bangalore and Hyderabad. Then I went to US. I was there for some time, and then I came back. So that went on for like 10 years before I, launched my own startup. That my first startup was back in 2014. It was called Cross India Cruises. The idea was to, create an application to connect all the cruises and boats, everything across India. Unfortunately, the startup didn't work out, and I had to go back to job. But this time I did not go back to the IT job. This time I, joined the sales division of a tech company. It's a large tech company. So that is how I honed my, skills into sales and then marketing. And then eventually I became a product marketer. I became independent. I became a Fiverr Pro consultant, which is the pro consultant in Fiverr. So that basically helped me become independent altogether. And my niche was primarily helping large companies B2B with B2B marketing and ABM. That was my niche because that was my background, all throughout into tech and enterprise industry. So I've been doing this consulting for last 4 years, 5 years now. I started doing that independent consulting from 2019. Only this year, I have launched a startup called Inside Tap, and it actually coincided with MicroStartup,
Nice.
Deepak. So, I just thought this is a great opportunity, since I'm taking the plunge again in starting a micro startup. So I thought, why not join this journey and learn from you? So that's my story.
It's nice. I'm already seeing a lot of people use this term micro startup, that I'm planning to do a micro startup. So I'm glad that that name is catching on as a new category defining term in the startup space. Nice. Cool. Thank you, Ritesh. Jaya.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
So I'm basically I did a course in VFX, and then I kind of enrolled myself for an internship. So right now I'm doing a job. So I am basically working on the contents with the company, and so my sir, who is also my guardian, so he introduced me to your course of Digital Deepak YouTube platform. So I'm here now. So
Nice.
I'm
Okay, great. Cool. So we had a round of introductions. We will do more introductions later. And as I have set the context during the MicroStartup Inner Circle launch, you are going to get a deeper insight on what I am doing here to build my own startup. We can also have some questions a little bit later. And the way I'm looking at it, if I have to build a funnel for what I am doing, especially in the micro startup category, is what I understood from being in business for a long time in this particular space, is that there are three major customer avatars. One customer avatar is the fresher or beginner, where a lot of people would be joining like micro internship as well. And micro internship is a cohort based course, and people learn the basics of digital marketing end to end. And if you have seen my micro startup videos on YouTube channel, it kind of forms the T-shaped digital marketer, where horizontal of the T, where you learn a little bit about everything. It's like general MBBS, and then you go deep into one particular subject. So that going deep into one particular subject, there are so many subjects, like let's say around 10 to 12 subjects, main subjects in digital marketing. I might not be able to launch a cohort based course in each of these subjects, because when it is a cohort based course, it has a start date, end date, it has a batch number, and a lot of people who have done internship program would have had that experience. So in that the volumes are high, so we can do the cohort with a start date, end date. But when it comes to a little bit of deeper learning, first of all, a cohort based course has a disadvantage in terms of some people might want to go fast. Like, I have known people who have gone through an entire mastery course in 2 days. Some people might want to go slow. And since we have 10 different courses there, we can't launch 10 different cohorts, have start dates, end dates for each and everything. So we sell it as individual courses, each and every mastery course. So if I have to give you an example, we have Facebook Ads Mastery course, which is launched as a separate self-serve program. And this is the landing page that we created for the Facebook Ads Mastery course. And here you can see it's a long form landing page written by our copywriter. And each and every lesson is kind of described very well, and it goes like very, very in depth. And since I have hired people who are actually gaining more expertise in a particular subject than me, I have done it in a podcast format with them. And Shreyas might never become a coach himself, but he is the expert. So I basically, with my conversation skill, I made a coach out of him. I asked him to teach me Facebook ads, and we recorded this entire podcast style thing. So uh, when it comes to the entire funnel, you might have seen this before. It's worth repeating. So these are the 4 different categories of customers that I see. In investor category, there is nothing to do in terms of education itself, like, what am I to teach investors about, but they are a category where I would want to attract them for them to eventually invest in MicroStartup itself. So we have 3 major categories, and until now in the education space, I have only served employee and freelancer category. You can kind of give alternate names for this, like, employee/beginner, somebody had a career break, want to restart their career. Everybody falls into this category. They want a job. They would be happy if they got a job. So that's why micro internship, right? And an internship program is what we called in the beginning. I wanted to retain the word internship, but I still wanted to not just call it internship. So we came up with micro internship, and it kind of suits with the theme of micro startup. Freelancer is more like a category where it's not just people who want to becoming freelancers, but they might want to go deep into a particular subject and even become full-time employees. So the micro internship program is serving this, and the Mastery Club. So what we did was that we decided we will put all these courses together in a bundle. If people want to buy individual course, they can, or all the courses in a bundle will be Mastery Club. So these are the 2 categories of products for these 2 target customer avatars in the education space: micro internship, Mastery Club. So if you have read my recent article on blog.digitaldeepak.com, I have mentioned why you should not go to like too many product categories, and too many products can also be very confusing. You can read this article. So I also felt that at a particular point in the digital marketing space alone, I'm not able to probably create a very high ticket product and attract the right people into, like, Alpha Club to some extent as an experiment until now was attracting business owners. But at the same time, the definition was not very clear, because for a long time we kept on bouncing around. Should we teach coaches or should we teach like agencies? And then eventually I figured out that both kind of like fall into the same category of this article I had mentioned, that, hey, it's going to be done for you, done with you, DIY. It's all going to be like products and services, it goes. So when you have a mass market product like internship program, it is more of a product than a service. If it is a self-serve course like Facebook Ads Mastery course, it's also more of a product than a service, because it's all self-serve. And generally people pay more for a service than a product, right? So if it is a book, no matter how life-changing the book can be, you can only sell a book for around 500 to 1,000 rupees. That is the price range of even the best-selling books. Why? Because that is the perceived value of a book, and that is how the market has set the price. So if you do a course which is like completely self-serve, without any Q&A, without any service component in it, then you can maybe charge 5,000 or 10,000. Or if you look at Udemy, all the courses in udemy.com will be around that pricing range only, right? It'll start with like $10 courses, 449 rupees. And then maybe some courses might be like a little bit higher than that. But why? Because it does not have any service component to it. So I have a fitness trainer. She does one-on-one calls 3 times a week, and I'm paying her like 15,000 a month. And that's like 1.8 lakh in a year. I would probably never pay 1.8 lakh for a self-serve course on fitness, right? Because it's a service and she is offering it. Now, she can also offer it with a subordinate as a team member, because you might say that, hey, if I'm offering a service, it's not scalable. But it does not mean that you cannot scale the service with more employees. So when you look at the internship program, 80% of the delivery is with the content itself, which the recorded sessions which I have recorded. But if I just set the recorded course, sell the recorded course, it might not have that much value. But we are also doing Q&A sessions, submit the assignment, we are giving a cashback, we are giving assignment approvals. So when it is like positioned more as a service, people pay more and people justify the cost to themselves that this is worth it. Plus, they also come in such a way that I don't need to be involved apart from the orientation program. For most of the internship batches, 27 batches after batch 4 we have done. I was only doing the introductory session and everything was like a clockwork running. And people are very happy. People are not expecting me to be there every time because the quality and experience of the course is like very good. And I'm able to scale it by hiring people. So I did not hire too many people. I had 4 mentors. So January, we will start a batch that will end in April. February, we will start a batch that will end in May. March, we will start a batch, then that ends in June. And then the next batch that we start, the person who was the mentor for January batch will come again. So these two products are kind of well refined. We have already got the product market fit in the digital marketing space. But if I had to go beyond that, I discovered that in these two categories, I might not be able to charge a high ticket because either you are getting a first internship or employment, you are a beginner, or you are trying to become a freelancer or get a job. But what can I create which is of more value, of a higher value? So if I have to sell a program for something like 1 lakh rupees, then these two categories it might not happen. But if I create a program called, so the name that we have, the idea is Startup Launchpad. We will help you start a startup from scratch. We will basically give you a launchpad for it. We will help you go ahead and fine tune each and every aspect of your startup launch. And when it comes to a startup, I say that there are 4 things that you can offer in a startup: education, services, platform, and software. Here, Deepak had also mentioned about creating his own micro SaaS software. But I also believe that before you jump into software, you need to do some education. Does not mean that you need to become a coach. You can also go ahead and write a blog, have some distribution, have a community, and that will help you build your personal brand. And from there, you can directly sell services. Services are where the cash flow will come. I'm completely convinced. That's where the profits will also come. But a lot of people approach services, they don't know how to exactly to do a service. So that is an agency model. But even if you're running an agency without a personal brand, how are you going to get clients? So that does not mean that you need to become a coach and sell coaching programs, but you still need to educate. You still need to go ahead and position yourself as an expert in a particular field, which means a little bit of blogging, little bit of YouTube is definitely necessary. And we are not expecting that you will become like a influencer with a lot of millions of followers or anything. You don't need it also. Even if you have a less number of followers, if you are outreaching to someone saying that, hey, I will consult your business or I will offer services to your business, that's where people pay more. And they might come and check out your profile. They might come and check out your blog post, which positions you as an authority. And then eventually you can roll on the profit to software and platform. So as of now, the way I am approaching it is that my own micro startup will have all the 4 categories. One category is education. And inside education, there are 3 major customer avatars: employee, freelancer, and startup founders. For employees, we have micro internship. For freelancers, we have mastery club. And startup founders, I will explain how the funnel is going to be built, which is going to be more of the primary focus because that's where higher ticket sizes are possible and more serious audience is possible. That entire thing will come under the bucket of education. But when I am telling other people that you should also provide services, it would be a hypocrisy if I am also not running a services company. And I actually believe that deepmarketing.com as a services company has a huge potential. And obviously, this is something that I have not published yet. But today morning, we closed our first client. We got the sale for deep marketing. And the thing is that the bank account is still not ready for MicroStartup. In fact, the name is not even finalized. We are trying for like different names with MicroStartup. But for the time being, I have taken the revenue on Learn Today. Maybe before the end of this month, May, if we end up creating the new company and the bank account, then I will refund them from the advance that they have paid and ask them to pay here. Right. So what we have done is that from our Google Ads intensive course, we had one digital marketer who was working in a company, and that company we have converted as a client. And if you have seen my latest MicroStartup video update, I mentioned that you have to have a tripwire on B2B segment also. So rather than trying to create a big proposal and trying to get a client as a retainer for half year or 1 year directly, you just get them to pay for a plan, 12-month plan, which I call the 30-day sprint. And this is something I have just shamelessly copied from boringmarketing.com. Right. So they also call it the 30-day sprint. So we told them that so these are the challenges that you are facing. These are the current situations and how the deep marketing funnel works, on how you can implement deep marketing funnel for your business. That 1 hour call itself was a consulting call. It was of great value and they were convinced. And I told them, give us 30 days. We will do this 30-day sprint and we will give you a 12-month plan detailed document, which even internally your team can apply. And initially we were thinking we will charge 50,000 for it. But I pitched 1 lakh and they were like completely convinced. And I also told them that I will give you a money back guarantee if you don't like the entire plan. But as I told in the video, generally business owners, when they see that I have put that much effort in creating probably a 15-20 page document for the client in terms of a 12-month implementation plan, they will not ask for a refund and all, right? So, and obviously we are also very confident about our approach and everything. So that is something that we are going to start work from tomorrow. We have 30 days to make the plan, and the first client is where the maximum amount of effort has to be done. And this client is a coach. And since I am itself in the coaching industry, I feel that there is a hidden flywheel built into the entire system. Because if I am making more revenue with deep marketing and I am showing that publicly, saying that we are making this much revenue, then I get more authority that I am knowing my stuff on how to build a startup where some is coming from education and some is coming from services. So more eyeballs will come to know that how much money I am making with the agency, how much expenses I am making, how much salaries I am paying, how much profit I am making. And if more people come into the micro startup funnel, learning what I am doing, then I will make more revenue with the education. And the more revenue I make with the education, the more confidence the B2B clients who are in the education category will have that if Deepak is making this much traction with his own education, then maybe he is the right guy for us to help us with our own funnels, right? So one keeps feeding the other, and it can have a compounding effect. So so that is one win that yesterday we had the call. Yesterday I did the pitch to them, and obviously that I cannot do a recording of the entire pitch because they tell us how much revenue they make and what are they doing. So at some point maybe we will do a client case study. We'll talk to the client that we can publish, but even in the micro startup inner circle, I cannot give a recording of the client call which is confidential. So obviously I will try to ask the client on how flexible they are for me to publish what work we are doing for them, or whether they are okay even revealing their name. But it is possible, right? So that is one win, and today we got the payment for it, and we are going to start working on the 30-day sprint. And some of the ideas that I have come up for how to get more clients for. Yeah, Kapil Sharma is saying mock call. That could be a good idea. We could do a mock call in one of the future inner circle calls, maybe, where I am doing the pitch for, like, there are some coaches also here. Right. So in terms of how I am planning to grow deep marketing and what are the growth hacks I'm going to apply on deep marketing, I will make a separate video about it and put it on YouTube. And if I have to explain how the funnel for the startup founder category itself is going to look like, I will just do a small mind map about it. So under micro startup, you have education, services, So for now, we will just look at education and services. We are not even going to get into software and platform because that will take at least a few years for me to get into. And when I get into that, I am planning to hire developers, and I'm also planning to get every employee to give an update on what they are doing so that they don't need to report to me. They are literally reporting to the audience. So I will tell that if you are joining MicroStartup, your requirement is that you have to publish a blog post every week telling that what you have done this week. So that becomes a way to document what they are doing and for them to keep accountable also. So that is how I am planning to hire. And so services, deep marketing, I told you about. So inside education, the brand is Digital Deepak. And you have 3 customer avatars and 3 products. So micro internship, mastery club. And the third category, what I am planning to call it is startup launchpad. So startup launchpad will be for startup founders. So inside the funnel, because there will be people who do micro internship and mastery club and then upgrade to the startup launchpad program. But startup launchpad as a very in-depth startup course which teaches you how to build your own startup, like internship kind of 2-hour sessions, but focused on the startup category. Like how do you decide your niche? How do you build your customer avatar? How do you do competition research? What kind of company you should register, whether to take co-founder or not? How do you create vision and mission for your company? Everything will be there in Startup Launchpad. And I am planning to price this at 1 to 2 lakh price range. Uske baad, there will be eventually a mastermind. But when you look at the Startup Launchpad alone, if I have to create a funnel for it, how will the funnel look like? Considering that, yes, there will be some people who will come from here to here, but there will be a lot of people who will come here directly, right? So this funnel will have free content without opt-in. So that free content will be my YouTube channel on MicroStartup, both English and Tamil. And then I will have the Digital Deepak blog. Most of the articles will be published on Digital Deepak blog, but MicroStartup also will have a blog where there might be somebody like an investor who wants to keep track of what is happening in my company, and they might want more specific updates. So some of the blog posts that I make on Digital Deepak, I will also publish it on the MicroStartup blog. Considering that the people who might just follow the MicroStartup blog and want some only critical updates like once in a week or two might not be wanting to read all my random thoughts and posts that I post on Digital Deepak. Like Digital Deepak may you guys might follow everything. Sometimes I talk about relationships, sometimes I talk about Bitcoin, sometimes I talk about mindset and everything for more like startup founders. So I want to create the MicroStartup blog as well. I will create a Substack for it. So this is all like free content without opt-in, and I might be like guest appearances. So I will probably have like a team member who is helping me to appear as a guest in other podcasts. So that will all be like free content where people have heard about me or they have had an impression in terms of visiting my site, but they have not opted in. So if I have to get people to opt in, so content with opt-in, primarily that would be MicroStartup, 30-day MicroStartup course. So that will be an email course on email. So that would be the content without opt-in. And then I am thinking I will have, I will categorize into inspiration, start, grow, scale. So the inspiration to build a startup will be the inner circle. And one of the reasons that I don't want to, and then there is one more thing, right? Which is the book. So there is a tripwire. So in fact, inspiration may both tripwire bhi aa jayega, because if anybody buys the MicroStartup playbook, that's what I am planning to call it, but not finalized. They will also get membership to the inner circle. Somebody joins the inner circle will also get the physical book. So this is for inspiration. You guys here. So eventually in the long term, I might have a lot more members in inner circle, but since we are just starting out, I'm not even pushing it until the micro startup company is registered, and then I get the new bank account, new payment gateway, everything. I'm not even pushing for the inner circle membership more. And in the meantime, we can have more one-on-one interaction, because right now it's a meeting rather than a webinar. So you guys are planning to start your own startup, as many of you mentioned. And when you see a lot of coaches, you might have noticed that they sell a 500 rupee workshop. And to sell a 500 rupee workshop, they might end up spending 800 or 1000 rupees for every conversion. And they lose money on the front end. Why? Because only when people pay money, they pay attention. And if they don't pay attention, you don't have their attention long enough to make a pitch for a next level product, right? So you are going to provide a lot of value, and people are going to be mind blown by the value, that they'll want to, by their own volition, want to go for the next level of product. So rather than creating like a 2-day workshop and charging 500 rupees for it, the whole idea is to get people in and get them to pay attention. Like you guys have paid for the micro startup inner circle, and you guys have showed up here, right? To get some value out of this. So it's also exclusive. It's also a community. So the inspiration may, you have this community, you have the micro startup playbook, and I will put it like this. So inner circle, you have the micro startup playbook, you have the community, and then you have the weekly inner circle calls. So I will be trying to, in the long term, convert as many people as possible into the inner circle. And I don't want to create a community for free, because free communities get spammed. You might have seen Learn Digital Marketing group on Facebook has 200,000 members, but it's very spammy. And no matter how much I try to put a community manager or try to filter it out, you can never filter it out. It keeps adding up. School community is also like not very serious, but here we have a serious community. So that is inspiration. So until somebody is ready to go to the next level, all the people here, I will be open with you. That is the whole idea of micro startup, that eventually I will be pitching you the startup launchpad program, right? So startup launchpad, which is the start category. Okay, you are ready to build your startup. You want to join startup launchpad. I also acquired startuplaunchpad.com long back. So here it will be 20 to 30 hours of in-depth content. You will have a dedicated account manager. You will have a weekly Q&A, because this inner circle calls will be more like broadcast calls. Initially, for the few months where there are less than 100 members, I can take questions from you guys also. But in the long term, if I have 500 people, 1000 people showing up for a webinar on a weekly basis, then they are not going to necessarily have the opportunity to ask a lot of questions. Here and there, I might address some questions. But here we are obligated to answer your question, because people are paying 1 to 2 lakh price point, and they are coming and joining with a specific end result in mind. And the goal is that launch your product within 6 months, and they should start making revenue within 6 months. So it will be a 6-month program. End of the 6 months program, it's a very result oriented program. It start, get the product market fit, start making revenue, so that you can get the confidence that, hey, I can also, depend on my startup. In the grow category, we will have the mastermind. Mostly we will call it Alpha Club. We will relaunch Alpha Club with a new system. And in the grow category, we will be, having weekly mastermind calls. So this weekly Q&A call, initially I will be taking, but eventually I will have mentors who will take the call, because this might scale to even 500 or 1000 customers in the long term. Alpha Club will be limit of 100 people, might be around 5 to 10 lakh in price. It will have offline events, and it will have some bundled services and dedicated help to help people grow their startup. And scale will be micro startup partner, where I will be taking equity in the startup, and we will be providing services for them to help them grow because now we have the equity. So this is how the funnel for the education looks like. And this is what you will see unfold over a period of time. And right now the timeline that I have is that I will probably launch my first startup launchpad cohort in July or August, mostly in July. So May, June, let 2 months go. By the time most of the things will be ready. And the first cohort of startup launchpad, I will probably do it as a live program for like 3 months. And then I will do a second cohort, third cohort. And when I do this live cohort, initially the price might not be the target price. It will be cheaper. And what we will do is that I will be getting more experience working with people in a deeper way and personally helping them understand their own niche and what their offering should be. And once we start getting some case studies from probably after some 3 live cohorts, I will make it a perpetual cohort with recorded courses, just like I did with the internship program. And that sales will, who will we sell to? We will only sell it to inner circle members, right? So I'm nurturing you guys. Obviously, it's optional to enroll, and you continue to keep getting value from inner circle for as long as you are here. And even with the free content, you continue to keep getting value. But the idea is that we need to build the education business. Eventually, we need a high ticket, and the inner circle is the qualifier. We are not going to take any person from outside who wants to join Startup Launchpad. Like, at least if you are part of the inner circle, then you know. And I want to only sell it to people who already have the confidence in me that I can help them build the startup, right? So don't think that very first call of the inner circle, I'm already starting to pitch Startup Launchpad. It's completely optional for you guys, obviously, but I'm telling you that this is how we are planning the education funnel, right? So with micro internship, mastery club, startup launchpad, alpha club will be pretty much the primary product offering in the education category. So that is how we have planned the funnel. And I eventually felt like from the digital marketing niche, I have to slowly pivot in the startup niche. And rather than calling it the agency niche, because when you call it a startup, and especially when you call it a micro startup, you can include both coaching and include agency owners as well. And as I said, coaching and agency will keep overlapping each other. Like, for example, my fitness trainer, she has a personal brand on fitness. She has some courses on fitness, but she is also doing this one-on-one coaching. In certain categories, you cannot do done for you services. Digital marketing, you can do done for you. I will build the landing page for you. I will do the performance marketing for you and all those stuff. But when it comes to something like weight loss or fitness, there is no done for you. She can't lose weight for me. She can't build her fitness for me. In relationship, in nutrition, all that is more like done with you. So it still comes under the service category. If you in the coaching also, if you are doing mastermind or doing one-on-one consulting, it still comes under the service category. So service product, it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum where sometimes it will be more product heavy, sometimes it will be more service heavy. So just call it a micro startup, and the initial distribution, product market fit, revenue, everything starts flowing with education and services, and eventually you can get into SaaS and platforms. And when I get into SaaS and platforms, it will be shown publicly how we are getting into it. So that's the overall idea on how things are evolving, and it was a good update that we are also able to kickstart the agency parallelly. So my first goal is to reach 10 lakhs a month with Digital Deepak education funnel, while also putting enough efforts to reach 10 lakhs a month with the agency funnel. And as of now, the fresh revenue has just started trickling in. Obviously, I start with an advantage. I already have the distribution and I am leveraging on it. But you can definitely look at how I am approaching this entire thing. And I will be showing you some case studies and examples of also of how other people are following the same path, like education services, platform and software. Like, for example, Giant is building remoteclosers.com. Education in remote closers is teaching people how to become remote closers. That is more B2C focused. Services in his remote closers is helping businesses build a sales team. That's more B2B focused, and that is services. And then eventually, if he has to build a software, he can build a pipeline software for this particular market. And then eventually, if he has to build a platform, he can build a platform like a closer hiring platform. So that can be like hire.remoteclosers.com, where businesses pay a particular subscription fee to get profiles of candidates who are remote closers if they just want to hire remote closers. That would be the platform game. If it is my fitness trainer who wants to do education services platform software, education might be just creating content about fitness, creating some self-serve courses about fitness. Services is where she provides one-on-one training. Tomorrow, if she wants to scale the services, then that would be having a few fitness coaches who are reporting to her, and she gets the client. She maybe does 1 or 2 calls in a month. Rest of the calls are done by these people who are working for her. Each person can have 10 clients under them. And instead of charging 15,000 a month where she is doing the service herself, she can charge 10,000 a month and get more clients. If she wants to build a software, it could be like a fitness tracking app, calorie tracking app. If she wants to build a platform, then she can build a platform where multiple fitness trainers can come and host themselves in the platform who can get multiple customers. So customers and fitness trainers come together in a platform. So that would be her strategy. So almost in every niche, based on my understanding and research, if you just leave the e-commerce part out, you can build this entire education services platform software, and this is where you will have the most sustainability, because I see so many SaaS startups fail. They build something that the market does not need. They don't have a clear distribution plan. They don't have a product market fit. Unless you provide services for a particular niche market, how would you even come up with the product market fit? You can't just assume that, hey, this is what I think these people need. Serve them. And there is a very interesting article by things that don't scale, do things that don't scale, by Paul Graham. So Paul Graham is like, the co-founder of Y Combinator, which has created multiple billion-dollar companies. And you guys should read this article. So he says that even a $100 billion company like Airbnb initially started out with services, because you can't just create a platform and expect people to come and list their houses there. So Airbnb co-founders or the initial team literally went to Craigslist listings, contacted them, went to their houses, took photos of their houses, and created the listing for them on Airbnb. So without having that service, how would you create a product? Because a product is, end of the day, serving the customers in an automated fashion. You are productizing the service. That's what becomes a product. But product is also a service. A car is a product, but the car is doing the service of taking me from one place to another, which a cab can also do. But the product component is high, service component is less. So that is how you have to think about your offer. And that's pretty much for the updates and whatever thoughts I had. So let's wait for the company name to get finalized. A lot of names got rejected. We applied for MicroStartup Launchpad, that got rejected. MicroStartup Studio, that got rejected, saying it's too generic. Then we applied for MicroStartup Innovation Labs. Then they said there is a company called Micro Labs Limited. So it's too similar to that name. So that also got rejected. So tomorrow we are applying for MicroStartup Venture Studio. So if that also gets rejected, then I will just call it Digital Deepak Private Limited or something. Because it does not really matter. It's just there in the bank accounts and invoices and stuff. It's just a documentation thing. I will probably still call it the MicroStartup, whatever I am doing, as the primary brand. And the CEO office she kept saying Microsoft Studio. No, it's not Microsoft, it's MicroStartup. But the fact that she confused it with Microsoft is still good, because it's the largest company today with $3 trillion valuation. And if it sounds like Microsoft, why not? MicroStrategy is also an upcoming company now. MicroStrategy might become the biggest company in the world in case Bitcoin keeps going up. MicroStrategy has acquired 1% of the Bitcoin supply itself. So MicroStrategy is also performing very well. Microsoft is performing very well. Hopefully, MicroStartup becomes a $1 billion company someday. And thankfully, I got microstartup.com. And I think entrepreneur.com, Entrepreneur Magazine, owned MicroStartup at one point in time. And they let it expire, and somebody got it. And they sold it to me for $5,000. So $5,000 is premium, but it's still not that much of a premium for a term like that. And I got a appraisal, domain appraisals are there, a lot of services are there. I got a domain appraisal of $38,000 for MicroStartup. So considering that that's the most valuable domain name I have out of all the domain names I have, it makes sense to call my company, long-term company, as MicroStartup itself. So that's how we finalized on MicroStartup. Earlier, I was thinking I will call it hightraffic.com I have. That's also a domain I paid a huge money for. And I thought I will make it like digital marketer and make it a digital marketing company, where I was thinking high traffic ke andar I will create high traffic services, high traffic education, and high traffic products. Then I figured out that let's just keep education under digital Deepak brand, services under deep marketing brand, software under high traffic brand, and platform under the Learn Today brand. So that is how I'm going to put everything under MicroStartup, and that's that. That's pretty much the update. So hope you liked this update. Hope you liked the call, and probably by next week I will have more updates for you guys on what's happening, and we will do more Q&A next week. I just have to, go and have my dinner. I haven't had my dinner yet. So continue the conversation on the WhatsApp group. Now that you guys have seen each other's introductions, you know what's the group that is forming here. So be more active in the group, and I will also be active, and onwards and upwards. That's that. Cool. Good night, guys. Bye bye.
Good night, Deepak. Thanks.
Good night, sir.
Yes.